Hi, Merwyn.
Hi there.
So, how are you enjoying your time in Bilbao?
I've been enjoying my time in Bilbao very well. It's been nice weather now. Now that the winter's gone, hopefully we can get more sun.
How long have you been here for?
I've been here since the beginning of September. Around the 5th of September, I arrived in Bilbao. I've been living in San Francisco ever since then.
Why have you chosen Bilbao out of the whole different options that you had?
I chose Bilbao because I can speak Spanish, and apart from that, I was very much intrigued about the beach. And here in Bilbao, and I could go surfing. I could do a lot of things, and apart from that, it has a lot of young students, a lot of people, a lot of events, and it's not a quiet city. It's not a boring city.
Do you feel like it's somehow very different from England?
It is very different compared to England, for many factors. But if I'm looking about it like in architecture wise, so different because England, again, being a big city, it has so many buildings, tall buildings. Meanwhile, here in Bilbao, all the buildings are very small, and the only tall building is the Iberandola, that is in basically the middle of the city.
What is it that you do in your free time?
In my free time, I come home, I study, I end up hanging out with my mates, we go parties, we have a lot of fun most of the time, usually in my house, usually just hang out playing video games, or just go out and just explore Bilbao.
You did say that you speak Spanish. Where where did you learn Spanish?
I learned Spanish from my parents as they are both Latin Americans, so Spanish came to me as a second language apart from English.
Do you think that the Spanish you have learned is different from the Spanish spoken
It
here in Spain?
it is very different for many reasons, as my Spanish is not the Spanish as they speak here, and not just only that, it is the accents and the way they communicate and some inside jokes and other things I cannot comprehend very well. Also, my Spanish is not the best. That's why.
Do you think that you suffer from language barrier or not really?
No, I do not suffer from any language barrier personally. However, when it's with other Erasmus students, I do. Because some of them speak Italian, Portuguese, French, and from there I cannot communicate with myself with them fluently. However, there is the English that I can hear and understand from time to time.
A quick moment to
Gumalo.
refresh. What do you think are the biggest differences between Bilbao in England or Spain in general in England?
Mm, one of them being like economically, it's completely different. As food is much more cheaper and easy to get by compared to in England, where everything else is much more higher. Apart from that, it's also because London, again, I come from a big city, the commute is much more different. For me to get to your friend's house is like 5 minutes. For me to go to a club is 5 minutes. To a bar, 10 minutes less. For me in England, it would take me like a whole bus journey, 20 minutes, half an hour to either see my friends or anything else. There isn't that much traffic. There isn't that much pollution. Everyone's doing their own things, and everyone is much more active, no matter what they're doing. They're always out in the parks, having fun, walking the dogs, and just being civilians. Much more nicer civilians compared to in England.
Is the education system different?
For me, I have seen a lot of things that are very different compared to my university here and there, where it's the form of teaching. As some in the UPV, there isn't that many lecture halls to be said. There isn't many things. All that the students have are open to ideas and criticisms and other things, whilst in England it's fairly the same, and most of the people just copying and pasting whatever you find on the internet as well. It's not that bad. It's not that different. Just again, it's. Huh. Actually, I don't know how to respond to that one very well.
If you had to define your Erasmus in 3 words,
My Erasmus in 3 words would be intoxicated, fun, and also um, life.
Life.
Once as when I arrived to Bilbao, it was very. I didn't expect much. I just thought of it as a normal, typical Spanish city, whereas the typical Spanish things. However, Bilbao has a lot of culture, a lot of things that surprised me, and a lot of beauty as well. When I discovered it, when I was been living here, I didn't really know anything about the Basque Country or Bilbao in general. But as soon as I stayed here, met a lot of people. They introduced me to what I really liked about this place, as it being the beaches, the nice little hikes, or just the parties. The nightlife here is much more interesting compared to other places, and very cost efficient, to the point where I don't have to worry about myself wasting a lot of money one night out, or in the next time, and I could just go out 2 days straight or do anything else. A lot of the things here are just nicer. I've done too much that I do not know how I've kept up. And the only thing is that I'm sad of is that my time is coming to an end here in Bilbao, in this small city. However, it's been a big place for me, man. It's been a big impact. It's just amazing. We learned how to eat pinchos like much more commonly. I learned some key phrases like to say hi and to say bye. For example, when you're gonna say hi, opa, that's one of them here in Bilbao. And say goodbye or thank you is eskerrik or agur as well. Kaicho as well is another one, and my favorite one is calimocho. What is it? It is a beverage here in the Basque Country which they make, which nobody would love to drink about it, but I like it. It's red wine and cola. It's a very typical drink here, and you can look it up on the internet and everything else. It's very popular, and I've convinced a lot of people to drink it recently. So it's one of my favorite things about this country.